panels are getting too heavy for me. I mean, I can lift them by myself, but I'm not going to. So what I'm going to do, pile them up right here as I build them, because today I'm going to try to get the whole cabin basically built. Okay, I almost totally forgot before I turn around and move this panel, and thank God with these bigger, these I think they call them 3.5 inch. I call them more like 4s, 5s, whatever. I almost forgot. It would actually help. I've got to put several of these into the openings, and my helper just told me that we were down to the last 2, and I said thank God, because honestly I do not like this brand. I won't ever buy it again. 2 here, 2 at the bottom of this plate, and 2 at the other one, and we're secure, and I can go ahead and lay this panel down. We'll do that off camera. There's no point in showing you all the same mundane thing. Third wall panel done. Too many more to go. I got a buddy of mine that was helping me in the very beginning of this build. He's coming over, so before he knows it, I'm hoping to have a giant stack of these plus the other ones I've built, and he can go ahead and help me be a good buddy, and we'll start loading this stuff on the trailer. We'll throw a couple of the scraps under the walls and wrap it with a tarp, so any water gets on the trailer will just roll right off under them, instead of hindering anything that we've already been building. There you go. Look at that. 4th wall, the whole front's complete. We're about to start building the side walls coming down. A little bit more intricate, but it's actually a lot easier. No openings, no nothing as far as I know right now. You know what, guys? Let's get building. All right, we're starting one of the side wall panels. Now originally I said there shouldn't be no more openings, but I totally forgot. I do have this very single pane non-opening window, and I'm just going to basically frame it in. I'm trying to decide where this is going to be a corner piece. It's going to basically, let's just use this for example. If you're looking at the front of the cabin, we basically got the entire front done. Now we're making the wall section coming down the side. So I'm trying to decide, am I going to put it on the, if you're looking at the cabin, it's going to be on the left side or the right side. And I think because I am going to put the wood stove in this corner, we're going to have the cantilever window section right here. So I'm thinking we're not going to do nothing behind the wood stove. So this will be just a flat panel. So for the left side, if you're looking at right at the front of the cabin, what it's got to do is, let's use this wall section because let's say this is going to be in the front. What it's got to do is allow from this edge right here, it's got to come down to the very bottom of that 2x4, and it's got to allow for us to come in and screw all the way down this wall section to create the corner. So what I'm going to do is I've already pre-measured it out. It's 4¼ inches. So we're going to have to leave 4¼ inches here. We'll go ahead and pop a chalk line so that way we know once we will set the 2x4 on this wall, we're going to come in, like I said, 4¼ inches and set our first 2x4. We'll have a short header, and the rest of the wall basically goes the same. And then we got to figure out the window height opening, because I do like all my windows to the point where I can walk right up to them and be able to view right out without having to stretch up or stretch down. One of the biggest errors that I made when I built the homemade camper all the windows were kind of set funky, but the thing is, I guess how high they were set, I did have a platform that you stepped up on, and underneath there was battery, or supposed to be in the batteries going under there, and I had a water tank and different things. So I mean, for that application it was fine, but for this cabin, I want to be able to enjoy nature just the way it is. So I guess first thing is first. There's no point in me doing it on camera. Y'all have seen me already, and I'll do this several times. What I'm going to do is come in 4 1/4 inches and mark it, and I'll mark it here, mark it at the top as well, put my screw in, and we'll just pop a chalk line, and I'll go ahead and set that first 2x4. Once the first 2x4 is set, we'll go ahead and do it. Set the other 2x4. We'll go ahead and basically build the main structure like we've normally been doing, and we'll go ahead and figure it out from there to figuring out where this window is going to be placed, and on we go. Alright, so since this is going to be a non-opening window, I had to kind of determine from the height of the other windows and kind of using the measurement of this window what's going to look ideal. And basically all I did was just held the tape measure up and play with it from there to what, you know, kind of come up. I came up a little bit. I think I came up 48 inches from the bottom of my wall, and then this window is approximately a little hair over, it's like, I don't know, 24, it's like 29 inches, so it's over 2 foot tall. So I kind of just played with it, holding the tape in front of me, and decided what I was going to do. I realized 48 is going to be the magic number, and when I add the little over 2 foot, it puts it high enough that I can walk by and look directly out. And this is from where the cabin's going to face. I'll be able to look off. If you're inside the cabin looking at the front wall, this would be on the right hand side, so I can look off to the right. So what I've done here is I've come up from the bottom and popped the chalk line, as you can kind of see here, and I'll walk you around a little bit closer, and popped the chalk line at 48 inches. And what I did was just sat the window here and traced it out. Now, one thing I almost forgot, from the edge, this red chalk line represents the edge of my 2x4, and a 2x4 is not 2 inches, it's actually 1.5 inches. So we come out, then we're going to add another 1.5 inches because we're going to have a stud on the inside of this window that helps frames it out. So that's total of 3 inches, and I realized I'm going to actually be about, I think it was going to be about 1/8 or 1/4 inch, somewhere in there. It was going to end up interfering with the original window. So all I did was put the window right back in place, and I just slid it over about 1/4 inch, remarked it. So now that I know which lines are what, it's sitting up on top of the 2x4, so I figured let's go ahead and cut this out. We'll go ahead and cut this window opening out and get an actual window opening. Then what I figure is go ahead and insert the top and bottom plates for this wall. We'll drop in some studs, frame out the window itself, and then we'll hopefully keep on trucking and getting this thing done. Alright, what I'm doing is just putting in the top header, and basically just same as I've done before. 40 5/8, I believe. Got it done. I'm going to go ahead and knock out the second one, and I'm going to kind of show you this. Let me see. If you notice, this is protruding past the wall, whatever kind of funky angle I cut it, and there's a reason. I didn't even think about pre-cutting this one board because these are 10-foot 2x4s. So now that this is going to bite me in the butt, I'm going to have to come in with a Sawzall and trim it. But things happen. It doesn't, I mean, it's not making me upset because I know I can take care of it. I just have to get in the shop. But I'm not going to let it slow me down either. I'm going to go ahead and knock out the bottom plate. No point doing it on camera like I have done this. And basically it's just like everything else that we've kind of already pre-done. Let me go ahead and knock this out, and what I'll do is I'll bring y'all back when I'm going to try to find a way to trim this window out, and we'll go from there. Alright, so got this thing quickly framed in, and it's just like the rest, except the difference is there's not an operable, whatever, however you want to say it, window. What I did, just quickly placed a couple scrap blocks, grabbing my window, my very dirty window, and we're going to just check the filament, make sure how it's going to fit in here. What it's looking like is I've cut this thing dead on, so what I'm going to do is just take my circular saw, give it a quick trim on one side, and go from there. Let me grab my good old number 2 pencil. And just it's not the wood itself, not the 2x material. It's actually the plywood itself, because I kind of, the way I set my wood in there. Let me get this trimmed and be right back. There she goes. She's just quickly in the opening. Not an operable window. What I'll do is come in with some 1x1 quarter round something. Probably 1x1 or 2x2 or something. I'll come in and just trim it out. Space it out in between front to the back. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it just yet. Some kind of maybe trimmer on the edge, on the outside. I'm not, like I said, I'm not really sure, but that's basically going to be the way it sits. And what it gives you is a nice window to be able to look out from. This panel placement is definitely set. The only thing I got left, just like some of the other stuff, run one stud here, one at the bottom. I'm not going to show you that because it's become like I said, I don't want these build videos just starting to look boring. So she's there. I'm gonna go ahead and take this window back out, carefully put it back up, and we'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and do this off camera. Go ahead and just drop in a couple of center studs, 24-inch on center. Actually, this is gonna be a little different because I forgot that we're not using the full sheet. I'll figure up the measurements. Probably it's going to be like right here to there. Then same on the other side. Just basically put it in the center, and we'll put the sucker up. I guess I'll see y'all in the next clip, which is going to be if you're looking at the cabin, it'll be the right side wall, plain smooth, nothing to it. Figured I'd go ahead and cut the camera on. I didn't film this one. This is let me see, if you're looking at the cabin, if you're looking straight at the front wall, this would be the right hand side. If you're inside of it looking at the front wall, it'd be the left hand side. But this is one of the corner walls, and what makes it a corner wall, what makes it so unique, which is not really nothing unique, like I've said before, there's 4 1/4 inches, which makes up 3.5 inches for 3.5 inches for the stud, which would be like this right here. So imagine bolting this up, or now screwing it, so it takes the thickness of the wood plus the 2x4, and it all fits right here. Same as before, unlike the only difference between this wall that we got done building and this one I just built, which probably took me maybe less than 30 minutes, is that there's no openings. I think the way I'm going to do it, there's going to end up being right here is going to end up being the wood stove is going to be somewhere in that corner vicinity. So I figured, what's the point of doing a window when I'm not going to end up having, I really don't want nothing there. Now, yes, there is going to be a window kind of on the side of the wood stove facing outward. I want all the natural light I can get in there. So I didn't end up filming this. Really didn't think anybody would want to watch me doing the same repetitive thing, lining up the 2x4, putting the screw in there, coming all the way down here, getting it into place, running the screws down, etc., yada yada. There's almost 3 full entire 2x4x8s, one on each outside wall, and actually, 93 inches in the center. 93 is to help compensate for the 1.5 inches at the top and bottom plate. And it's just that simple. The only thing I got to do is pop my chalk line and come back and put my screws in for the center of the board. And it's not going to hurt, and the reason is for that, because like I said before, this is a number 2 plywood, it's reject. But with a $12 savings over 18 sheets, I believe what I calculated was $207 difference if I bought 18 sheets at Home Depot versus this bargain place that I've been buying it. And like I said, with probably 3 to 4 coats of exterior latex, shouldn't bother at all. So I mean, there we go. We're up to, this is the 6th panel. I got 4 here, 2 over there. So 6 panels. I've got, I believe, 12 more to go to make 18. Now it becomes the same mundane thing over and over and over, and that's going to end up being drag a sheet over here, run the entire. I'll do basically the same thing as this, except there's not going to be an edge. It'll be literally full 2x4s, wrapping the entire all the way around perimeter. Then pop a string line at 24 inch on center, sew a stud in 93 inches, and I'm done. The only other thing is going to be from this point on, there's basically going to be 2 more of these. Now technically I have the very front of the cabin, and I have one of these wall sections coming down each side, so we're just using this for a reference point. Let's say this is the very front. So I've had this entire part done. We're going to come down 1 panel here, 1 panel there, so I have actually 4 more panels to go all the way down, then 4 across the, well, let me think, yeah, it's 4 and 4 is 8, 12 panels left, yeah, it's 4 down each side, and then 4 across the back. The only other thing is we got special and unique from here on. I need 2 more of these type panels, and that's really about it, except one of them I haven't decided where I'm going to do it. I have a small, newer style I believe it's double pane frosted glass window that is going to go into the bathroom area, which right now, as far as I know, I got a garden tub going in, which seems like overkill for an off-grid cabin. I call it a luxury item. Plus, it was free, so I'm not going to complain with free. So I guess the building will continue on. I don't know if I'm going to just go ahead and start building some plain panels. Just go ahead and build some of the bigger ones. They're going to take up probably basically the most amount of wood. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll be 4 pieces of 2x4. I'll use full 8-footers down each side. I'll rip one in half, rip another one in half, then cut one at 93 inches. So it's basically the same. I don't know if I'm going to film any more of just putting these things together, because they are so simple. They're literally going to be the same exact thing. So I've got, let's see, 12. I got actually 11 sheets. Nope. Let's reduce that 10, 9. I got 9 sheets of plain walls to build. I think that's what I'm about to get cracking on. Went ahead last night and picked up another load of lumber. I have went and picked up yesterday afternoon 12 sheets of ply. Picked up, I only picked up 20 of these. And these are actual 8-footers, and they're a lot better condition than the 10-footers I grabbed. But they're still a number 2 board. Doesn't matter to me, because a number 2 board, I can make it work, because it is a huge difference. It's $3.08 for that 2x4x8. The 2x4x10s were the same exact price, but they actually had them in the wrong spot, marked the same exact price. Now, 2x4x8, what is it? Number one 2x4s, which is great. They're straight. There's no knots, no etc. They're running $4.59 a piece. So you do the math, how much I'm trying to save. This is a budget cabin, but the way I'm building it is going to be definitely strong. So I guess let me go ahead and start let me just go ahead and get some filming done, or I'm sorry, let me get some building done, and I'll bring you guys back along.